Hey guys, it's me. I'm back with another video with tea involved because that's the way to go. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about confusion. It's a sort of like problem that I myself have had for like a long time, which is it's sort of like a problem that I've had for a while, and I've had people like comment and tell me stuff that they're like, when you're an INTP, why are you now an ENTP? You can probably tell by the title of this video, it's how do you differentiate between an ENTP and INTP? So the functions of an ENTP are primarily NE, TI, FE, SI. I'll link the video in the description, which I spoke about SI and ENTPs. So if you're an ENTP, you can check that out. If you're an INTP, then you have XI. If you have SI and auxiliary, I think is what they call it. Like it's the third function. And you can go check that out too, because why not? And tell me if it resonated. But if you don't want to, just don't. Let's shameless plug, I guess. Let's stick to this video. So, ENTPs, right? An ENTP is quite likely, I'm looking at like kind of notes that I've made. So INTPs are just someone who are better in their heads, whereas ENTPs are someone who are better when they speak. What do I mean by that? What I mean to say is, since INTPs have their primary or their most dominant function as TI, then they're more likely to, and since we are talking about intuitive people, because I don't know that much about sensors. If there are sensors, hit me up, dudes. Like, I'm looking for some sense of friends. My best friend's actually a sensor. She's an ESFP, SE Dom. But anyway, moving on. So the ENTP. The ENTP, as I said, is the NETI, FE, and the INTP is TINE, SIFE. So INTPs are going to be a lot worse in social situations than ENTPs are, because ENTPs, the thing with the middle part is it's kind of like, so the middle, just always think about the middle part. If it's TIFE or FITE, it's gonna kind of be like a 40-60 ratio, whereas for the others it's not. That's simple. So the thinking and the feeler type, like in the middle, if you notice it, there's not that crazy of a difference. But if you talk about sort of like INFP versus, because they have the highest as FI. I hope this is making some sense. Anyway, I was talking about ENTPs, or not ENTPs, I was talking about INTPs being more awkward in social situations, which, I mean, I kind of dabble in between being, or not being. I guess I am an ENTP, but like I have my little INTP moments, which only makes sense because we have the exact same like functions. They just kind of like move around a bit. So an ENTP is going to be better in social situations. They're gonna be better in cracking jokes. They're gonna know better what to say when, whereas an INTP is not. Personally, when it comes to that, it seems like my FE is just like lost, you know. My FE is not good at all. Whereas an INTP is just gonna like not know what to say when. And I also feel like INTPs as a result will just talk less because they're scared of what they're gonna say, and since their FE is it's like the least dominant, they're also gonna be more likely to not talk because they're scared of social situations. So you can talk about like or we could say that I feel, I'm not sure, this is not a statistic, don't come for me. I think INTPs are just more likely to have social anxiety because of this fear of judgment that they have because of their FE, because they don't want to like mess up what they're saying. So an INTP, if you've noticed, every time they talk, they're gonna be more confident as compared, or not confident, they're gonna be more assertive as compared to an ENTP when they're talking, because an ENTP has an any dominant, so their extroverted intuition is their first function. So what happens is that an ENTP is kind of just gonna dabble in the waters, whereas an INTP, when they talk, they know what they're talking. Usually, when they talk, they know what they're talking about, or when they talk, they're probably gonna inquire questions, whereas an ENTP is probably gonna be more likely to theorize. Now this happens because of the FE. So since ENTPs have a lesser fear of being judged as compared to INTPs, because INTPs have a lower FE and ENTPs are better than INTPs and FE, they're going to be more likely to sort of, I completely lost my trail of thought. So an ENTP is probably going to be more likely to theorize with people and debate, because that's how they learn, whereas an INTP is going to be more likely to just assert themselves, and if they're not doing that, then they're going to ask a lot of questions. Whereas for an ENTP, it's primarily going to be more not assertion. They're not going to be that assertive. They're just going to try and debate you, because the thing with INTPs and ENTPs is that an ENTP is going to try and find out different ways of thinking while they're talking, because they do have their NE first. They have their extroverted intuition first, whereas an INTP has their introverted thinking first. So they're more likely to formulate theories and ideas in their heads than they are when it comes to actually saying it out loud. What's common between the two of them, I guess, the two of them are good with like theories and ideas on paper. But again, an INTP is going to be a lot more systematic than an ENTP is, because an ENTP is going just all over the place. They have like this one thing and they have like 50 billion ideas, and when you're arguing with them, they're going to bring up all the 50 billion ideas. This sort of, what happens is the TI actually helps with like when ENTPs are debating, because they kind of, when they're talking about something, they formulate while they're talking, or like just before they're talking. Because again, it's NE is all about exploration, and they're just going all over the place. They're just running around, whereas an INTP is not. They have their TI parent, if I'm not wrong. I don't really know C.S. Joseph language, but so an INTP is going to be more articulated than an ENTP is, as you can probably tell. So this is like sort of a difference. You'll notice an ENTP is more likely to argue, but is also more likely to budge than an INTP is, because an INTP is going to have someone whose opinions are more strongly formulated than an ENTP. Because again, INTPs are always in their head so much, they're thinking about analysis and all that stuff, whereas an ENTP thinks it while speaking it out. Because also what helps with an ENTP is sort of interaction with other people, because when other people give ENTPs more insight into, so if they're arguing with someone and someone else gives them more insight about their point of view of something, then an ENTP is probably going to learn more from it. Because again, an ENTP is all about ideas, or is more about ideas and exploration, whereas an INTP is probably going to be more about this is an idea and this is what I have explored. And an ENTP is going to be like, okay, these are these billion ideas that I have, and these are like these billion ways to explore it, and I don't know which one's the best way to explore it, so I'm going to debate you on it, and if you win this part of the debate, then one out of these billion ideas are gone, and then you go to the next one. You keep debating until they finally come to a certain conclusion. However, it's difficult to come to the certain conclusion because there are just so many things, there's so many variables. And the thing with ENTPs are, they're more likely to consider the variables than INTPs are, I think. I can't say for sure, but yeah, so I feel like an ENTP is going to be more open-minded than an INTP is. INTPs can, that's why INTPs come off as condescending so much of the time, plenty of the time, a lot of the time, whatever. Whereas an ENTP is probably also going to come off as condescending, but then like the next day you go up to them and they're like, oh yeah, well, I changed my mind because I found something better. And both of them are on their search for truth and what truth really is, but the way they do it is just, it's completely different. I hope that helped. Maybe if I discover more differences between ENTP and an INTP, which I'm sure there are plenty, I will keep you updated. And this was that. I'm also planning on doing some actual like psychology videos about like Carl Jung and his philosophy and the archetypes and stuff. I've also actually really been into Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life. I actually am currently trying to annotate this. I've already listened to this book twice. I really like it. I like the ideas that it has. So maybe I'll do like, must like spilled my tea. Maybe I'll do like an analysis video on this, but there's just so much to get through. So I feel like if I do an analysis, there's gonna be a lot that I'm gonna have to cover. But anyway, so far that's it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And I'm also gonna post 3 times this week, or every week for the next 1 month at least. So enjoy. And bye.